Somewhere right now, someone is watching a YouTube video you uploaded 3 years ago. They found it through search, or a recommendation, or a rabbit hole that started somewhere else entirely. And that video, one you made, posted, and mostly forgot about, is still earning money. Ad revenue every single day, quietly in the background. Now imagine someone walked up to you and said, "I will give you $40 million today in exchange for the right to collect that revenue for the next 5 years. Would you take it?" That is the exact deal a company called Spotter has offered to some of YouTube's biggest creators. And the answers, who said yes, who said no, and why, reveal something important about how the creator economy is actually being valued, financed, and quietly restructured by people most viewers have never heard of. I'm Andrew Busila. This is the Busila Breakdown. To understand what Spotter built, you have to understand the financial reality that most successful YouTubers live inside, even the ones with tens of millions of subscribers. YouTube's AdSense revenue is real, but it arrives slowly, unpredictably, and almost always behind the moment when it's needed most. A creator with 5 million subscribers might earn between $30,000 and $100,000 a month from ads. That sounds comfortable until you factor in what it actually costs to produce content at a professional level. Camera operators, editors, writers, studio space, travel, equipment. For a creator trying to scale, trying to go from good videos to great ones, the money that YouTube pays is almost always a quarter behind the ambition. And the irony is this: the back catalog, the library of videos that a creator spent years building, is already generating revenue. Quietly, consistently. Every video that ever went viral is still being watched, still being recommended, still earning fractions of cents that, at scale, add up to real money. But that money comes in monthly, in small installments. It cannot be spent on a production that needs to happen next week. This is the gap that Aaron de Beauvois saw in 2019 when he founded Spotter. De Beauvois had co-founded Machinima, one of the first major YouTube networks, and he understood the creator economy at a structural level most investors didn't. He saw that YouTube creators were sitting on an appreciating asset, their back catalog, that they couldn't access. The revenue was locked inside the videos, trickling out month by month, when what creators needed was capital they could deploy immediately. His solution was elegant in its simplicity. Spotter would license the ad revenue from a creator's existing videos for a fixed period, typically 5 years, in exchange for a large upfront payment. The creator keeps the videos, keeps the copyright, keeps full creative control. Spotter simply collects the ad revenue that those specific videos generate for the duration of the agreement. It was, in financial terms, a securitization of future cash flows applied to YouTube content. Not a loan, not an equity stake, a licensing deal. And when it worked extraordinarily well for both sides. The mechanics of a Spotter deal are worth understanding because they reveal how the company thinks about the value of a YouTube video in a way most people, including most creators, have never considered. When Spotter evaluates a creator's back catalog, it isn't looking at subscriber count. It isn't looking at the most recent video's performance. It's looking at the historical ad revenue generated by videos that are already old and modeling how that revenue will decay, or in some cases compound over the next 5 years. This is a data problem, and Spotter built the analytical infrastructure to solve it better than anyone else in the market. Their model accounts for seasonal ad rate fluctuations, niche CPM rates, the half-life of recommended content, and the probability that a specific video will continue to be surfaced by YouTube's algorithm years after it was posted. Armed with that model, Spotter could make an offer to a creator with a high degree of confidence that the deal would be profitable for Spotter within 4 years. The target recoupment window was 4 years, which meant if a deal paid out in 3.5, Spotter won. If it paid out in 5, Spotter still won, just barely. For creators, the math looked different. The question was simpler. Is the money I'm getting today worth more to me than the money I'd receive over the next 5 years if I waited? For MrBeast, the answer was yes, multiple times. Jimmy Donaldson did not one, but several deals with Spotter. The upfront capital he received went directly into expanding his operation, funding the Spanish language channel, accelerating Feastable's production, financing content that cost more than his monthly AdSense check could cover. For MrBeast, Spotter wasn't a financial product, it was a production budget. For Dude Perfect, the calculation was different. The 5-person trick shot group from Texas used their Spotter capital to build a new headquarters, an experiential facility in the Dallas area that functions as both a production base and an audience engagement space. Same deal structure, completely different strategic use of the capital. By 2024, Spotter had deployed more than $940 million across over 735 YouTube channels. Deals ranged from $15,000 for a smaller creator testing the model to reported figures of $40 million for the platform's largest partners. The average deal, approximately $1.5 million. The investors who funded this machine were not small. SoftBank Vision Fund led a $200 million Series D in February 2022, valuing Spotter at $1.7 billion. That valuation deserves a pause. A company whose entire business model consists of licensing ad revenue from YouTube videos that already exist was valued at more than $1.5 billion. That number is a signal. It tells you that sophisticated institutional investors looked at YouTube's back catalog ecosystem and concluded that the ad revenue locked inside it is a genuine financial asset class, one that had never been properly packaged before. In October 2024, Amazon acquired a minority stake in Spotter. The announcement was carefully worded. Both companies described it as a partnership to expand access to new business opportunities for Spotter's creator roster. But the strategic logic was worth reading carefully. Amazon had already invested heavily in creator content. Beast Games, the MrBeast competition show, had demonstrated that YouTube native creators could generate prime video-level audiences. But Beast Games was a single deal with a single creator. What Amazon needed was infrastructure, a way to identify, finance, and connect with the top tier of the creator economy at scale. Spotter had already built that infrastructure. 735 channels, $940 million deployed, a data model that understood the financial value of YouTube content better than any other entity outside of YouTube itself. For Amazon, the investment in Spotter was not primarily a bet on back catalog licensing. It was a bet on Spotter's roster and the possibility of routing creator content, creator audiences, and creator commerce through Amazon's distribution and commerce infrastructure. The deal was small in dollar terms. In strategic terms, it was a land grab. Around the same time, Spotter had also been building something separate, Spotter Studio, an AI-powered creative suite designed for YouTube creators. The pitch was ambitious, not just capital for your old videos, but artificial intelligence tools to help you build better new ones. Ideation, scripting, workflow management, a full creative operating system for professional YouTubers. In September 2024, the company raised $89 million to accelerate the studio rollout. And then, in October 2025, Spotter shut it down. Not entirely, but publicly. Spotter Studio was pulled from external access. A small number of staff were laid off. The company announced it was bringing Studio internal and refocusing its efforts on helping creators unlock brand partnerships, long-form brand deals, not AI ideation tools. The reversal was quiet, but it was meaningful. Spotter had tried to expand from a capital provider into a full-service creator operating platform. And the market, or the economics, had pushed back. The lesson was familiar. Doing one thing extraordinarily well is harder to walk away from than it looks. Zoom out for a moment. What Spotter built, at its core, is a financial instrument applied to creative output. This has happened before. In music, it happened with royalty streams. David Bowie securitized his music catalog in 1997, raising $55 million against future royalties. The financial world called them Bowie bonds. In film, it happened with future box office receipts. Studios have borrowed against unreleased movies for decades. Now, it's happening with YouTube videos, and the implications are larger than they might first appear. The first implication is about creator leverage. Before Spotter, a creator negotiating with a brand, a studio, or an investor had one primary asset: their audience, their subscriber count, their monthly view numbers, their engagement rate. After Spotter, the conversation changed. A creator's back catalog became a quantifiable, financeable asset, one with a calculable present value based on projected future cash flows. That changes the negotiating position of every major creator in every conversation they have about money. The second implication is about risk. When you license your back catalog revenue to Spotter, you are betting that the upfront cash is worth more to you today than the revenue you'd receive over 5 years. In most cases, for creators who use that capital productively, who invested it in their channel, their business, their infrastructure, the bet paid off. MrBeast is the clearest example. The Capital Spotter provided funded channels and products that generated far more than the ad revenue he gave up. But the bet cuts both ways. A creator who takes the money and doesn't deploy it productively has simply given away future revenue at a discount. The deal is only as good as what the creator does with the capital. The third implication, and the one that I think matters most for understanding where this is going, is about the valuation of the creator economy itself. SoftBank valued Spotter at $1.7 billion. Amazon invested in it. $940 million has been deployed. None of this happened because investors are sentimental about YouTube videos. It happened because someone finally built the analytical framework to treat YouTube content as a financial asset class. The same way music royalties, real estate cash flows, and film revenue streams have been treated for decades. Once that framework exists, it doesn't go away. It gets more sophisticated, more capital enters, more deals get done. And the creators who understand this, who understand that their library is not just content, but a balance sheet, will navigate the next decade of the creator economy very differently from those who don't. In 2019, Aaron de Beauvois started a company on a single insight. that YouTube creators were sitting on a financial asset they had no mechanism to unlock. 6 years later, that company had deployed nearly $1 billion, attracted investment from SoftBank and Amazon, and quietly reshaped how the most successful creators on the platform think about their own work. Not as content, as capital. The videos you've already watched, the ones sitting in someone's back catalog right now, still running ads, still being recommended, are worth something specific, something calculable, something that a company in Los Angeles has been willing to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to get access to. The creator economy is not just a cultural phenomenon, it is increasingly a financial one. And the people who understood that first are not the ones making the videos. They're the ones buying the rights to what's already been made. I'm Busila. Thanks for watching the Busila Breakdown.